Start off with calorie counting. Tyler, how are you?
I'm great, thanks. How about
Good,
yourself?
good. You've been busy. You guys haven't been
Yeah.
on for a while, you or
No,
Shelley.
it's been, yeah, there's always something that keeps coming up. And
Yeah.
we're just playing catch up, and we moved our business and have a new house as well. So it's all 2017 and 2018. I thought it was just going to be 2017. Turns out 2018 is a busy year. We're looking forward to 2019.
I was going to say, once you get settled in 2019 will
Yeah.
be the year for you guys.
That's
Well, it's
exactly
crazy when you're doing all that, right? I mean, and both of you, working together in the business, and then you've got your kids, and it just gets crazy.
There's a lot of plates that we have to spin.
Yeah, so maybe have you been eating out a little more than normal?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah,
bit.
which is crazy, but now they put the calories on there.
Yes.
But
so
this
we had
whole
more
thing-
chance to look at those and,
Yes,
and
and
observe them.
It's kind of, I find it very interesting because not knowing a whole lot about how many calories are in anything, I look at some of them and go, that doesn't seem quite
No.
right to me, just
Yeah.
in the bit of knowledge that I do know. So I thought this would be a good topic to talk about because people are looking at those and they're trying to understand it. And at the end of the day, I mean, fast food's fast food. There's not a lot of good in it for you.
Yeah.
But let's talk about these menu calories.
Yeah, so the Healthy Meal Choices Act, that started in around January 2017, and then it's sort of just been creeping into menus. There's still a few restaurants and takeout places that I see that don't have the calorie counts on them. It's overall, I think, a positive, useful change, but there's just a few things, like you had mentioned, some inaccuracies, which I also agree with. And there's a few things that it can be a little bit misleading for some people to think that calories are kind of like the single variable that represents how healthy something is or unhealthy.
Right.
So, I mean, one of the
Very good point.
one of the main issues is so knowing how many calories you should be eating in general. And the restaurants do a great job of telling you the adults need roughly 2,000 calories and kids need less. But that's totally average. I've had clients that need double that, half, not quite half that, but it's like 3/4 of it. And it depends. Are you gaining weight? Are you losing weight? Are you maintaining weight? Are you extremely active? Do you have health issues? Do you have metabolic disorders? Like all those things, they're important variables to consider type of thing.
Yeah,
So-
and you broke this down really well with the first one being you need to know how many calories you need per day, which is
Yeah.
what you were talking about there. And I think that that's very important because
Yeah.
it depends on your exercise,
Yeah.
your body type, how fast your metabolism burns
Yeah.
through things, right?
And it's only a unit of energy. So it doesn't really give you any indication of how healthy the actual food is. So because it's a unit of energy, it's only really served for weight gains, weight losses, sport and exercise, that type of thing. So it's good overall. And I guess you could argue that with obesity and diabetes on the rise, that if you can control your calorie intake and lose weight, all the diseases associated with diabetes and obesity also are sort of left by the wayside as well. So it's good in that regard. But there's other things that are really important to consider.
Yeah, the health of the meal. I
yeah.
mean, that's the other thing you brought up too, and just expand a little bit on that.
Exactly.
Calories don't show you that it's healthy. I mean, it may make you decide, okay, that's got 1,800 calories
Yeah.
in that one sandwich, so maybe I won't have that.
Yeah.
But you don't necessarily think of where am I getting the most nutritional value.
Exactly. Like if you're looking at bacon and sausage versus bacon and turkey bacon, eggs and turkey bacon, it's clear because you can see there's like a 300 calorie savings, and you get this breakfast versus the other. They're mostly still the same. But if you're looking at like say 1,000 calorie dessert, say it's a brownie with some frosting on it, versus a meal that's say like a salad with like lean chicken and like beans and maybe some fruit on it, that type of thing, you're dealing with exactly the same amount of calories. One is tiny, won't fill you up, shoot your insulin through the roof, contains very little vitamins and minerals. The other is filling, has lots of fiber, which don't technically count as calories because your body can't use them. Lean protein, vitamins, minerals, phytochemicals. So on the paper, they're both 1,000 calories, but one is like vastly more nutritious than the other one. So that's something that's really important, and that requires education. It's one thing to know the calorie counts because they're listed on the menu. It's another to look at the ingredients of what's in that actual meal and sort of be able to judge this is healthy or this is not healthy.
Yeah, now you said something there about fiber, and we're not going to get into that because that will
Yeah.
be a whole other discussion. But when you come in next, I want to talk about
Sure.
fiber and,
Yeah.
and how it works in the body, because we
Yeah.
often hear like it doesn't count as calories, but it's not doing anything for the body, but yet we
Yeah.
need fiber, so
Yeah.
what is all that? So
That's right.
that's
That's a
another
good
discussion,
topic
okay?
next
Calorie counting should be performed within reason. What does
Yeah.
that mean?
Yeah, so I've seen a lot of people obsess over calories because they consider it like the only variable that might be of importance to them. And to be honest with you, a lot of people's main goals when it comes to eating is just weight loss, right, or weight gain. So, that's the only thing they're considering. And you can be really obsessive about it. And I've seen, I'll never forget, this sort of stuck in my mind, but a few years ago, Shelley and I went out for breakfast with some family, and my one family member sat down, and it was like a huge stack of pancakes with butter on it and whipped cream and like a whole pile of bacon next to it. And she sat down and she was doing some sort of diet plan and she got a coach and everything apparently, and she took her finger and she went 100, 200, 300 calories. And like, I don't know, she was portioning it out with her fingers or somehow. I'm like, multiplied by at least 4 kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So it's in the sense that the calorie counts are now listed on the menu and hopefully they're accurate. That's going to be way more accurate than whatever my aunt was doing at the time or whatever other people might be using as a way of gauging how many calories they think
Yeah,
the
I mean,
food
it does
has.
give you a better understanding. I mean, sometimes it might be a little bit questionable and just use your own common sense there, I would say, because they maybe can't check or triple check or whatever. No one's coming in and for sure. But
who's
they're
auditing it?
Exactly. I mean, that's
putting it together in the
impossible,
first
right?
place, right?
But I mean, hopefully they are trying to be as accurate as possible. And then I just wanted to end with, is a calorie a calorie?
So from
I think that's probably
yes,
a big
that's a very
question,
good
but-
question. Yes. So from like a physics, because calorie is just a thermal unit of energy, and from a physics perspective, yes, they're exactly the same. So weight gain and weight loss is determined through calories in versus calories out, but there's a whole lot of caveats. You mentioned fiber. So fiber is unusable calories. Some calories don't absorb nearly as well as others, like sugar, alcohols. Some calorie sources, if they're from carbohydrates, specifically like low glycemic carbohydrates, they pump up your body's output of insulin, and insulin is more likely to store those calories as fat. So it's more or less calories are calories from a pure physics standpoint, but how your body uses them, more so based on what food it comes from, is a huge, huge difference. And then other things like, say you get 100 calories from lean meat. There's a certain amount of calories that your body has to output in terms of energy for digestion to input those calories, and some foods are treated differently than others.
It's fascinating.
So it's not what it's pretty much what you'd expect in terms of all calories are technically the same, but high plant-based foods, lean meats, beans, nuts, seeds, legumes, like small amounts of whole grains and stuff like that are going to be better than the same amount of calories from dessert chocolate cake.
Yeah, absolutely. Great, great insight. Thank you so much, Tyler. And now I've
pleasure.
got your homework. Well, not really, because you know about it anyway, but
No,
fiber.
we'll fiber
We're going
next
to talk
week,
about fiber next time. Full Circle Healthcare, second floor, Nebo Medical Center on Nebo Road. You can follow on Twitter at Full Circle SUP, S-U-P-P, or on the web, fullcirclehealthcare.ca is where you can go for more information. Great to see you. Say hi to Shelley.
Will do.